Welcome to Podula Rasa. I'm David Blank.
And I'm Jimesh.
This is a podcast about finding something in nothing.
Show 14, The Thom Williams Experience, Fragment 7. Earlier in the fall, Dave spoke to Lisa D'Annunzio Jones, who was nicknamed Libra by Thom Williams when they met in 2006. She worked with Thom in the early 2000s. Lisa explores her relationship with Thom Williams as a co-worker, mentor, and a friend. She explores his transition from the stellar career he had into retirement. Thom and Libra shared a special bond which transcended the classroom. Dave and Libra talk about Thom and his style of teaching and his outlook on life and gifts he gave to both Libra and to Dave as well. They discussed the podcast and some take-home lessons from Thom and his ways of being. It took Dave a little while to put this one together, and in the end he decided to leave it pretty much untouched. And we hope that you enjoy this extended interview.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'm really excited to be able to do this.
Yeah, we've been just enjoying talking to people and learning more about Thom, and everybody seems to have a different story, which is great.
Yeah. I actually was in touch with Meg, his wife, because I saw the podcast was on her Facebook, and I said, I just heard this. It was fabulous. I would love to call in. Would that be okay? Okay. And she's like, oh, by all means, yes, please do it and keep me posted. So
yeah, it's just it's an organic thing and it's just growing. And so we're seeing where it goes. So I'm here with Lisa D'Annunzio Jones. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's right. Yes.
Tell me about your time at Marple. When were you there?
I was at Marple starting as a brand new teacher anywhere in 2006. And I had a run there until 2013. And then I made a transition to a private school. And now I teach all online. So I've done a little bit of everything. But when I first got to Marple in 2006, I was fresh out of grad school. And before that, fresh out of college. So I did a 1-year master's program at Villanova University. And then I was with my family on vacation in upstate New York, and I got a phone call from Marple, and they said, can you come for an interview? And it was in a couple days. I said, yes, I will be there. So it happened very quickly. I got my job. I got my gig, if you will. And all the things I had to do all the summer reading for the courses. I was teaching 4 different classes, so 4 different levels. I had a classroom to prepare, all sorts of things. So when I got into the halls of Marple and had the meetings behind me, I had limited time to set up a classroom because it was days before class started, and I kind of got turned around in the hallway because I hadn't been there much before, and I see this very prominent person coming toward me. Situation demanded my attention. It was the feeling that I got because Thom Williams is who I saw, and I just had this feeling I need to know this person, whoever this is. They look like they know what's going on here, and I need to connect with them. And so said, hi, my name is Lisa D'Annunzio. I'm going to be teaching English here in room 110 or 112. When's your birthday? He didn't tell me his name. He said, when's your birthday? I said, October 11th. He goes, so you're a Libra. Right away, he knew the number and the month and what astrological sign I was. I said, yes, I'm a Libra. He goes, I bet you like things just so, almost like a tea party, don't chip a plate or the day is going to be ruined. I went, yeah, I'm very detail oriented. So So I met Tom, that's Thom Williams. And from then on, I mean, he knew my name, but he always called me Libra in conversation, in front of other people. Like, and that was just so cool.
Give you a nickname?
That was it. It was Libra. But like, I was thinking about this. I was telling my husband, like, I'm going to talk to the podcast guys. And I said, I didn't remember Tom calling other people by their astrological sign. Maybe he did, but I didn't notice it. And I was just like, maybe I was the quintessential like sign. And maybe that's why I was called that versus, other thing. He did call me Rita, meter maid, once in a while. And I think that was because at one point I traveled. I didn't have an actual classroom for a year or two, and I would push a cart around. So you're right. I did have a nickname in addition to Libra.
He probably was a little bit worried that it would bother you somehow, but he would do it anyway.
Yeah, he would do it. Yeah. And that's like what was endearing about him. Like, you could tell that he cared about how people felt. And he was a really good, like, he was very empathetic. Like there's some people that are empaths who like feel the energy of others. I am one of those people. And in retrospect, I can think that Tom was too. And the feeling that I got from him was like, it's like a magnetic feeling. Like when you're around someone like Tom, who, and it's very rare that you find these people in life that when you're with them, your blood pressure goes down. You think more clearly. You feel more valued in the presence of that person than perhaps another group. And I would usually see Tom in big groups for meetings and things. And like, if he was there and even not saying much, his presence would make the whole essence of the get together better. It would be calmer. I feel like people were just more at ease to be themselves around him. And we crave that in life. It's very rare that we find someone who is consistent in doing that. And he was fabulous at that.
Meg said something to me when I spoke with her that she said he had a special relationship with the principal at that time. He'd let him get away with everything. And
yeah. I think also at that time, Tom deserved to get away, quote, get away. He never did anything horrible, but he had been there through so many other principals. And I would love to be at little staff meetings or faculty meetings when they're pitching all these new, like, big, broad ideas, like, we're going to do this year, and with all well intentions. But like, I would look at Tom and I'd be like, is this real? Like, is this something I should buy into? Like, if this were the stock market, would you be putting money out for that? Like, and sometimes I would get, like, as a Libra, I'm like trying to balance it all and do it all and be right about it. And I would come in and I'd be stressed out about, maybe something in my class or a meeting or whatever in life outside of school. And he would just say, all these ideas have come around before, and some might stick, some might not, but we learn through it, we move on, and then if you're here long enough, those same things will come around. So it's like these ideas, it's like it's one of those like revolving doors, you grab on to what works and let what doesn't just keep going. Don't worry about it. Like, do you. He didn't say do you, like, he was like much cooler than that. Yeah, he had his own like Tom way of saying, you just be consistent in and of yourself and it'll sort itself out. Yeah.
I remember him being like that too, even when I knew him, and I graduated in 82. And so, he was not new, but he'd been around long enough that, he was kind of the same way then too. And I find that I try to model that as well. I mean, I'm an online teacher too. I share information about him with my students, like things that the way that he would react to them, and I'll mention him, or I'll share that video that Lauren Allen did.
Oh, it's great.
I love that thing. And people watch it and they write to me, even like after the class is over, and say, this guy must have been an amazing person
Oh yeah.
to know. And, do
Yeah.
you ever do that with your students? Do you ever share that video information about him?
I was making the transition to online, but it was English as a second language. So the option or the situation hasn't presented itself, but amongst friends, I've certainly shared it. I've shared it with my husband, he's not a teacher or philosopher by trade, but certainly enjoys deep thinking and interpersonal skills and values those things. And I think what's great about that is that, yes, you can share it in a classroom, but you can share it with someone you just care about and have them answer the same types of questions, overarching goals of personality. It's something we can all buy into. If you're, Tom, is this a good idea? Like, yes, this is focus on this kind of stuff. It's one of those things you can revisit at different times of your life, and it resonates differently. A very grounded person, and in many different areas also. I mean, music, philosophy, teaching, friendship.
Yeah.
Kind of had like a foot in all of those areas, and they were all pretty, some people are a jack of all trades and they're weak in like this area, but like Tom was very Libra himself in balancing where he was, I think, equally.
Did he have any people who he didn't get along with at MN? I don't think I ever saw that when I was there.
I don't think so. Like, just he's not like a person that would hold a grudge. I think that like if it didn't like fit like personality wise, like let it go. Like I think that's how he was. I could see maybe other people in the building not getting Tom and being like, wow, he's like a far out kind of guy. Like it must be cool to be able to resonate with kids that way. But if I did that as a teacher, all hell would break loose. With Tom, there was a quiet, unspoken respect between him and anyone else, I think, really, but especially with kids. And these aren't just kids. Like, these are, like 18 years old, 17, 18. He taught the higher grades when I was there. Yeah. And those are the ages that are thinking for themselves, that don't like to be told this is the one way you can do things. And for some teachers, that's hard because you're the teacher up front. But with Tom, I can see, like, I didn't see him teaching a lot. It's just the nature of the game. You have different rooms. But he was very reciprocal in the thought exchange. Absolutely. As a person.
He treated you as a person or as a friend first.
Yeah.
And then as a role model second.
Yeah.
But you knew it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you felt valued, and he wouldn't pick on someone to answer something. He would be like, well, what do you think about that? And then naturally, almost like you would in a Quaker meeting house, you'd feel the urge. This is like in conversation with him as an adult. I would feel like I wanted to talk. I wanted to give my opinion because I knew it wouldn't be like shot down. And just the way I would see kids in his classroom when I did get there, because I did travel room to room one year. And so I would teach in Tom's room. So I'd be waiting for his class to end and mine to begin. So I was there for like the changing of the guards, if you will. Right. And the kids just seemed happy. And, a couple always would be like hanging back to like tell him about something that they wanted to share with someone who cared, maybe not just English, like song that they were working on writing, or the variety show coming up, all sorts of things. And what was really cool is that there was an annex in the back of his classroom, kind of like it would just be storage, but he had a computer set up back there and musical instruments. Like it was kind of like when he retired, it was like one of the days like we kind of like had to clean out the English department, and there were like treasures in there. And by treasures, I mean like old film reels that I was like, oh, I can repurpose this and make something. Just like a lot of cool stuff. But anyway, Tom would hang out back there when I was teaching my class. And I would sometimes go back there and I'd be like, Tom, like my students would be working on something, I'd peek back there and go, oh my God, I cannot wait for this day to end. He'd be very just supportive. Even if he didn't say much, I just knew he was there. He was like the bouncer that never had to really do any bouncing, but like I was very happy to have his company. Those are my interactions as far as him as when we were actually around the students.
You made a comment that he would put you at ease and you would feel encouraged to just be yourself, and like he's still doing that.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's 10 years since he's gone.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe that.
We all, like, people I talk to, just everybody feels so strongly still.
Yeah.
It's really magic when you think about it.
It really is. And it's like, it's so great that we're able to do this and talk about and revive his memory. But I really hope that he knew while he was here how valued he was. I feel like also he wouldn't want to like hear too much of it. He's just that kind of guy that he'd be like, well, you're great too.
He was moving through on that trip, he would say. You know, that's, you know, right. I would love to interview Meg and ask her what some of those conversations were like at home. You know, just because I would love to know that too. Like, was he just that present in the moment that as soon as he moved on, it was just on to the next thing, or did he ever reflect on this stuff?
Yeah.
So
I would love for you to interview Meg.
Yeah, well, Meg, if you're listening, please think about it.
Yes.
That would be so special.
So I wanted to let you know I wrote 3 haiku about Thom.
Would you read them?
I sure will, yes. Awesome. And the reason I wrote them is because after Thom passed away, Meg gave me, now I didn't know Meg until Thom passed away. School and his life were very separate. But Meg and I became very good friends. And although we don't talk a whole bunch, we're very present in each other's life and get caught up quickly, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But she gave me some Thom artifacts. And one of them is his haiku book.
Oh, wow. One
of the many. It's just, it's a collection. Another is one of his, he published a lot. It's quite a lengthy table of contents. And then this is a bookmark after he passed away. Yeah, it has a poem, composed by Thom. He wrote a poem in
his last one.
Yeah, because Thom wrote a lot of haiku, and a couple of his were published on green tea cans in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay. Wisdom seeker wise, mentor, musician, and friend. Till the flip side, man. He's one of those people I really hope I see again, Met him in the hall, poetic zodiac guy. That is our TWill. Lay your racket, man. Guitar, rhythm, and the blues. To your destiny. And To Your Destiny, I don't know if you know this, but Thom's classroom, before the renovations, every year when the seniors were on their way out, he'd let them sign his wall. And
he wasn't doing that when I was there, but I heard about it.
It was phenomenal. And on the door, as he left, he wrote, "Go to your destiny, TWill." So that's why I put that in the last poem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's really nice. Was it a big surprise when he retired?
No, the reason was 4 of the greats all retired at once. Tom McHugh, Barb McHale, and Deb Bonder all retired the same year. And that was like, whoa.
You think they colluded?
Well, I don't know the truth, but I think that there was a monetary reason. Like that was a year. Once you build up a certain number of years and your tenure. I don't know the ins and outs, but I think that it had been something with a very logical reason as to why that was the timing. But what a huge gap and a void as a new teacher to have grown with these amazing people had. It's like when you have a neighbor down the street and you're making cookies and you're like, I need an extra egg. And you knock on the door. Like those were my people that I would go and get the extra egg from. There was a lovely, lovely retirement party for all of them. That was really cool. And when when they were all retiring, they all it was almost like having a yard sale. Like all the stuff that teachers accumulate, I'm sure books, things from students, projects, all sorts of things. And Thom said, Libra, I need you to come over to my classroom. All these things are being tossed. I know you're crafty. Maybe you want some. So these are the things I took and kept. Like over the years, I had to change classrooms, but the one is it's an anthology of poetry. And it said Commonwealth, property of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. But then it was purchased through a title. So I was like, at first I was like, did this not get returned? Like I was a little concerned. But yes, that's one of them I really like. And then Thom had a collection of.
God, I remember that.
He had a collection of figurines and.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, Shakespeare in action.
He had like a desk behind a door when I was there. It was in an office, and I remember seeing that on the one shelf that he had.
So this is like vintage.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible.
This is my Shakespeare action figure. He also had Jane Eyre, but I just personally don't love Jane Eyre. So, but Bill has traveled with me from different districts and classrooms, and now he's an online guy. So. One of my funny little anecdotes from Thom is when he was leaving, we knew that the curriculum was going to be the same and we had to have different people teaching things and filling in. And I grabbed the poetry elective that Thom taught. And I set up a time, very, very Lisa-like. I set up a time to talk to him. I had my binder, my notebook. I came in, I was like, all right, Thom, you're going to teach me what I have to do in this class, right? And he looked at me, he said, Libra, in poetry, there are no rules. I said, that's it? No overarching goals, scaffolding, curriculum. And at the time I was honestly, I was a little frustrated because I needed to know how I was going to please the school district and how I was going to make sure I was using these kids' time wisely and all these things. And I was thinking about it last night and I finally understood the whole purpose of that. In schools these days, it's different than when I first started teaching even. We didn't have Common Core. There's all this structure everywhere. And structure's good because it tells people what to expect. However, in telling me, Libra, there are no rules in poetry, what he was really saying is, this is one of the times in students' lives where they don't have to worry about meeting a standard. They don't have to worry about if they're phrasing something correctly. If you start, Libra, if you start putting all of these parameters in, you're going to unknowingly push all the possibility out. he gave me the room to get to know the students and gear the class towards them. Because as a teacher, if you write a syllabus and things don't happen during the year that is in your script,
Right.
it's accountability. But if you open it and you let the air flow through and you have your goals, but you don't jam pack it, it gives it breathing room. It gives your students breathing room. And so that was a gift for him to not load me up on notes.
Yeah. I
And
think
I
he
value
was
that.
also telling you that he had confidence in you. That's what it sounds like to me. You're just saying, just be you and it'll be okay. I mean,
I'm tearing up a little bit. I never thought of it like
sorry.
that. No, it's okay. I think you're right. Yeah. I think it was, it's maybe it's time for you to just be okay with being you. And that is truly a gift, isn't it?
This podcast has kind of two themes. One is rapidly becoming majorly Thom Williams, and this other one is about meditation. And because Jim and I are meditating, and I've been meditating for a long time. And I heard a quote yesterday after meditating, which was by Tolstoy, which was, I don't know, now I'm forgetting it, but it's something like, if you want to be happy, be. That's the whole quote. And I remember I was sitting there listening to it, and I thought, Thom probably knew that one.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what he did.
Yeah. And it's so hard for me personally to just be a lot of the time. We're just we're labeling creatures. Like, we like to know, we like to define everything. And I think this whole surge of wellness and self-care and all these different types of things that are going on now, I think Thom was like a pioneer in that type of thing as far as how to convey the importance of that to people, but not by speaking it, just by emulating it and by just doing it. And that's what I think is so magnetic about him, is that you saw that it was okay to not be busy tinkering with something all the time, to enjoy a conversation, to listen to music and feel it, just a really amazing guy. So
gosh, I wrote down a whole bunch of questions, and I think I've covered them all. Is there anything else that you can think of that you would? Oh, actually, one more thing before I do that. On the website, we have there's a scholarship for the Thom Williams Memorial Scholarship.
Yeah.
So I want to ask people to please think about doing that. The address is on the website, or you can email me for it. I'm not going to read it off here. But I'd love to fund that, because when I talked to Meg, she mentioned that she's been funding it. And I think that's crazy.
I do too.
She shouldn't be funding that. We send some love, whatever you can send, $1, send $2.
Yeah.
And I also, to make me not look bad, because I sent a letter to the principal and I said, hopefully this is the first of an avalanche of money that's going to come for this, because his legacy matters, and if people just think about him at graduation time, which hopefully will be in person again someday.
Yeah.
As he said, everything you do matters.
I have one more story, and then I think that's all I wrote. But the one day I was teaching in his classroom, I was teaching Romeo and Juliet. And as the students come in, I used to have music playing that would go along with what we were learning. And I played Journey's Don't Stop Believing, because it's a small town girl, small town guy, and things are rough, and figured that was a good Romeo and Juliet type song. And the kids, everybody knows that song. And it got to the air guitar part, and I made sure we were all doing our air guitars, and it was just great. It was crazy. If someone walked in to write me how I was doing, they'd probably be or you need some explaining. But after class, Thom was, changing of the guards. He was coming back to teach, and I was on my way out. He said, Libra, that's the kind of stuff they're going to remember. He was a mentor, a poet, and a musician, a philosopher, and above all, a friend. And he says, to have a friend, be a friend.
Yeah, this has been so amazing. And
This
I'm
is
so
great.
glad that you were encouraged to chat about him. I mean, you can come back to the podcast again, please, if you feel moved to do so.
Thank you so much. I would love to. I listened to the meditation one yesterday, and the one about when you guys found your variety show tape. The music was really good. I was like, this is complex stuff here for high schoolers.
I was surprised myself, frankly, because I've been living with the memory for 38 years, and then all of a sudden there it was. Wow, that's me. That's
Yeah.
And that was, Thom was supposed to play with us. He had kind of helped the band come together, and he was, until that day, he was going to play with us, and then he just disappeared. And I think there was a purpose to that.
Yeah.
He wanted to be about him, and it would have definitely been about him.
Right. I loved you said you had note cards that he wrote on.
Yes.
And he just drew a bunch of money bags.
The gym story. Yeah.
Something about Thom that I love was his handwriting. And he had really cool handwriting. And he'd always write with this like very, very wet black pen. Like it was like the ink almost couldn't wait to get out of this pen because it was going to say something really cool and effective. Something Thom would do, he had these, I don't know where he got them. They were like little certificates, 8.5 by 11, photocopy. And it said like best smile award. Outstanding character or random like awards, and he'd have the kids, he would fill them out, and he'd have a kid run it to your classroom just as for a coworker. And I'm like, where is he getting these things? But he was just cool like that. You just never knew quite what to expect from him.
That's really something.
Yeah.
I don't remember him doing that, but it's definitely something he would do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been great,
much.
Dave.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to meet you. And
nice to meet you.
Please don't write me an email and tell me that at the bottom of that William Shakespeare figurine is a stamp that says 2002 or something, because I'll be totally mortified. I remember that from his desk. Maybe, if there is, it must have been another one, because when you showed that, I thought, oh my gosh, I know that. So, well, thank you, and I'm really, really thankful for your contribution, and bring as much of this guy into the world as you can, and make him yours too. That's what I try to do.
Thank you. Yeah, I will. I really feel I got more energy the past, because I only heard it like I guess Sunday night.
Yeah.
Last Sunday, and I was like, I gotta tell my stuff, and I want to hear other people's. It's just, like we were saying, that exchange of energy. The energy is in the world. It never really leaves. We kind of kicked up the dust about it,
Mm-hmm.
Now there's more good stuff out there because of this discussion, the one that you had in the other podcast. So
yeah, well, now you're part of it too.
Honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Take care.
See you, Dave. Bye.
Thank you so much, Lisa D'Annunzio Jones, for that wonderful interview and for sharing your memories of Thom. We wish you the best. If you'd like to subscribe to the podcast, go to Padula Rasa at anchor.fm. The website is padularasa.com. You can email us at padularasa@gmail.com. Keep in mind at anchor.fm, you can become a sponsor and all proceeds from sponsorships will be forwarded to the Thom Williams Memorial Scholarship Fund. Thanks always for listening, and we'll catch you on the other side. Bye-bye.